now. So
Okay.
I'm fully expecting I'm about to say something really...
No. You didn't get a countdown, and when you recording, I was like, think of something. Now, fuck.
Video job.
Yeah.
So, I see everyone in roll 20. I think we're all ready to begin. So welcome to Cellar of Death.
Yay!
For the benefit of the recording, a bit of background on today's one-shot. This is the prequel adventure to Tomb of Annihilation. For the past 10 days, on Faerun and the rest of Toro, what little can be divined from the other continents, something evil is trapping the souls of the dead and draining life from all who have been raised from death by magic.
Something bad is happening in Oz.
Something bad! Sorry.
Mira, please. This death curse
it's
not
a
only
wicked
prevents
reference.
the raising of the dead, but also causes creatures that were previously raised before the death curse even started to wither and die permanently. Any humanoid that has been brought back from the dead is wasting away. The hit point maximum is reduced and is reducing every midnight. Travelling to another world or plane has done nothing to halt the wasting effect. The curse has already taken root. Anything that reduces your hit point maximum, this does include the HP reduction from a wight, spectre, wraith, or vampire, cannot be restored by any means.
It's a good thing we're level 1.
If a humanoid dies anywhere on the planet, its soul is trapped by the curse, and all spells that breathe life into the dead, including Revivify, Raise Dead, and True Resurrection, automatically fail.
Good thing
Good
we're
job with
level
level
1.
1.
Yep. This is background for the YouTubes.
Yep.
So, this
But
has
the
been going on
YouTube
for
wouldn't
the
be
past...
YouTube's wouldn't be the same if we weren't snarking.
I mean, it's not D&D without snarking.
Yeah.
Barely D&D without snarking.
This has been going on for the past 10 days. However, we're going to start by doing something a little different. Because, as I said previously, and then no one responded to, I want you to bring your characters together through a common NPC, someone you all know and love. We'll
Oh, I'm
create
sorry.
this
I
person
didn't realize
together.
we were required to respond to that because you said we'd be creating it during the session.
Yeah, I did, because nobody was talking about it. I said, screw it, we'll do it
Oh, I misunderstood. Oops.
You all get a say in this. The questions, I believe, have been put in the NPC handout. So, we need to figure out what race and sub-race they are, if applicable. Gender, age, their name, what do they do for a living, what gods do they worship, which, considering your party, is going to be a fun conversation to have. Don't necessarily have to worry about traits, ideal, bond, or flaw, but they're nice to have. And most importantly, how did your characters meet this NPC, and how do you remain in contact?
Regarding that, I had an idea.
Okay.
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 I was thinking, given that we're all kind of divine-y types, that it could be someone who studies how divine magic works,
Ooh. I like that.
and
Yeah,
thus has been traveling and meeting all of us in our various places.
We are varied in pretty much every single form of divine magic together.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
I'm going to put forth an idea.
Yep.
This character is a goblin.
Why?
Why?
Why not? Answer me that.
I mean, that why not
Yes.
applies to every single race we could pick.
No, why not?
Oh.
Take 1 point
I
of
didn't
psychic
even-
damage, Mira,
Taking it!
and then take your inspiration.
That's about a quarter of his health gone right now.
Oh, it's only 1/10.
I imagine the easiest thing to go for race would legitimately be a human, to be fair. Would be the easiest go-to.
Are any of us playing humans currently?
No.
No, I'm a
All the
half
more
elf.
reason.
That's about it.
Humans are kind of the go-between of all the races, so it actually
The-
makes a fair
They
bit
are
of sense.
The adhesive.
The
It
main
does sound
area that you guys are living in is around Waterdeep on the Sword Coast. So humans,
Which is-
elves, half-elves.
And it does
etc.,
totally sound like a
live on.
human thing to do, to be like, you know what, I'm going to study divine magic, and I'm going to go poke my nose into every single other race's business in order to find out.
Yeah,
Wow, the
I can see
hatred of
that.
Humans.
That sounds either like a human or tabaxi. Human
Damn
is
it!
more
Now I wanted to
likely.
be Baxi.
I
Human
think
is
I was
more
gonna-
likely.
Didn't Ballor say no tabaxi?
No.
It was
I
no
banned
Kenku.
Aarakocra and
Oh,
Kenku.
okay. Oh, okay.
He doesn't like birds.
His
Would
bird
you like
is
birds?
Well, I mean, the flying thing is kind of broken.
Aviophobia right there.
And Kenku
Kenku
have no
do-
roleplay value.
Kenku
Look
don't
at
have
play value.
So we're
Valor's
just going-
just racist against birds.
So are we just going human for the NPC?
I think
Yeah,
I might
she
go
had
with human.
experience with crows at a young age.
Yeah, it's it. Human works.
So we're going, and how do your characters meet the NPC studying divine magic? We're going to need age, name, gender, and how do you individually remain in contact are the real ones we need. Although it will also help to know which gods they worship.
Are they supposed to be like high level character?
Make them who you want.
'Cause
My
they-
guidance is very much that they could be pretty much anyone.
Because they
Oh my god.
could be staying in contact with sending now and then.
Yeah,
Or
I was
animal
actually going to.
messenger.
I would assume that the god they follow is Agma, which is the god of knowledge.
Oh my
That
god,
could
what if they're a wizard? Like, how
Yes.
ironic is that?
I
They're a
was
wizard
thinking that too.
They use arcane magic to delve into the inner workings of divine magic.
Wizard
Ooh, I like
I was
this.
thinking that too.
school.
A wizard
of
who's
Thurgy.
interested in the divine.
School of Thurgy.
Yeah, that could work.
Okay, yes, we have a plan. I like it.
Okay. And now, age, gender, and name.
I feel like they're probably not young if they're human and doing this type of research.
I can roll a d100 for the age if you want.
Oh god, it's going to come out as a 3.
Maybe a D.
D100 plus 20.
Unless you
D100
roll. Yeah,
Yeah,
but what if you
D100
roll?
plus
What if you
20
roll an
divided by 2?
82? What if you roll an 82? This poor
divide
human
the
is
total
like,
number
how
by-
They can be over 100. They're magic.
True that.
Magic.
Can-
They're just a
Dumbledore-
high-level wizard.
Dumbledore was what, 130?
His
I
I
was
have no idea.
considering
Gandalf
doing
was an angel.
doing the formula of D100 halved, halve the result plus 20 you could do to make it a bit more like put a range on it.
That works, I guess.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, roll your D100. Yeah.
91.
91 halved
So-
comes to 45.
45, 65.
That works. 65 years old.
Okay. And now we need name and gender.
Does anyone want to just flip a coin?
Why don't we just do? Why don't we make them gender neutral?
That works.
We get hit with the times.
They go by
Yes.
they.
They're a wizard. They changed their physical appearance for each
Oh
of
my
us
God.
a little bit.
This just reminded me. Has anyone here played RuneScape? I know about.
No, sorry.
A little bit, but that was like, 10 years ago?
Anyone that does, and anyone that has played it, do they remember the Makeover Mage?
Yes.
Where you could go pay money and change your gender, and every time you go up to them,
Where you had
they
to do that for a quest.
Yeah, they basically sometimes they're male, sometimes they're female. What if they have magic like that?
Sure, let's go with that. A
It developed.
reference I don't get.
We still need a
Okay.
name.
Here's the
Bellamarius
easiest
Fizzle Whizzle.
Alright, it's a bit layman's, I guess, but it can fit the gender neutral thing. First name Sam.
Like the sheriff in Welcome to Night Vale.
If people are cool with just a not
Just
extravagant.
name Sam.
We'll have a surname as well.
Why? I don't.
Well, true, I don't either, but
Hello? Rip my connection.
Seeker.
we probably have Sam the Seeker.
Sam the Seeker of
Seeker of
Secrets.
what? The Seeker of Knowledge.
Sam the Seeker of Secrets.
Okay.
Because
So-
all the alliteration.
So you're good with Sam the Seeker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was surprisingly painless.
When you just have
Yeah.
one person, it's basically you write something down on a note, you fall it into a paper airplane, you just throw it into the middle of us. Someone picks it up, reads it out, and goes, "Yeah, sure, let's go with it."
Yeah.
I
I
love
now
that.
have 2 more questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
How did they die, and how were they brought back to life?
Aww. So we've got exciting times. So we're doing this because our good buddy is dying. I assume they went and poked their nose somewhere they shouldn't have, and then got resurrected.
I can
I
imagine.
wonder if this ancient dragon has secrets that I should know about.
Oh, well, I know how I get to know him.
You drop him out afterwards.
Yeah, I brought his body to the nearest place he could be resurrected,
That works.
which happens to be my patron, which nobody else knows about.
I can
Okay.
imagine. Yeah, him being brought back to life is something very trivial considering his connection to the divine. Well, their connection to the divine.
Yeah.
So that could be resurrected
No,
through
you
that method.
idiot! Why did you go to the dragon? No! Bad man!
Although,
If you want to go with poke their head into a dragon lair where they shouldn't have been,
Well, not necessarily a dragon, but something large and powerful and, bitey that, ended their life.
got into an argument with the Xanathar.
What do
I will
beholders
neither
believe
confirm or
in?
deny.
me.
Believe in themselves or that you're inferior.
Believe in the
depending on which
beholder
one you
that
ask.
believes in you.
It really depends on which beholder you ask. Some
That whole
beholders will say
chaotic
they're-
evil
that
thing.
they're the best beholder to ever beholded, and some will say that all else is inferior. And some will say blah 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 blah.
And some will just shoot you with a death ray and not bother talking.
Hey,
Some will go
beholders
on
like
and
their
on
personal
for hours
space,
and
I don't
hours.
like it when you get within 100 miles of
Oh, I have an idea. It's a bit
Yeah.
elaborate. He was assassinated on some form of sabotage due to him being of an arcane. You can either have.
Hey,
So, they. Thank you. I was too busy thinking ahead that I wasn't listening to people. They, thank you. Oh, it's gonna fuck me up every time, I swear. Right. Because they're from arcane background, researching divine, you've got 2 arguably conflicting sides here, both with a reason to go, we don't mingle, stop trying to make us mingle. So one or the other side, or perhaps them both, ironically enough, assassinate them because they don't appreciate the research that is being had.
And then they were brought to the nearest temple and brought back to life, which would have been awkward if the same person Killed them before bringing them back.
Oh, wouldn't you know? This resurrection ritual really just didn't work well.
No! No! Idiot! Do this! Now!
People alright with that idea, or is it a stupid idea and throw it out the window?
No, I like it. I like
Sure.
the idea. I think that the idea of them kind of having multiple people that were not happy with this, rather than just having one party.
From once.
Perhaps
Quite
the
possibly.
destiny work.
Rasputin.
Quite possibly.
Comes back and it's like, which side was it this time?
So, what was the phrase in Doctor Who? This is Gallifrey. Death is like the common cold.
That actually makes it better. Like, this has happened before.
When you reach their level, death is merely an inconvenience.
Yeah, death is the common cold. Okay,
But-
so we all happy with Sam the Seeker, wizard studying divine magic that has been assassinated multiple times?
Yes.
Okay.
Except this time
One of
something
them
went
did-
horribly
One of them
wrong.
did this. One group did the stabby stab, and the other group did the stabby stab again, just to be extra sure.
So much stabbing.
Okay. It is a warm day in Baldur's Gate as you lay Sam the Seeker to rest. Death came quickly. One day your friends simply began to waste away. No cleric or paladin could stop the death curse from taking your cohort, just as healers of Faerun couldn't stop the dreaded affliction from taking any else who died in the past. You've seen many people gone before their time in just this last 10 day, but this hurts the most. As the mourners begin to head home after saying their goodbyes to your friend, two people who stood at the back of the crowd approach. One is a female sun elf, older but still spry, dressed in the noble finery of a northerner. The other is more mysterious, draped in a heavy black cloak wearing a silver mask. The elf speaks. Beautiful ceremony. It's clear your friend meant a lot to you. The cloaked figure cuts in with a dry, raspy voice, one that reminds you of the way your friend spoke as death approached. There is a chance that the deceased soul and countless others can be saved. If you act quickly, we might even be able to bring them back to life. And you can save those who are still living with the curse as well. At this point, I would like you to all introduce your characters. Starting in no particular order with Mia.
My character, Lorena Silvermaster, is a dwarf. She doesn't talk much. She's a bit, she tends to stay in corners and more listen to people than take the front line, the stage light. Words are hard. Sorry.
Limelight.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever. You know what I mean.
All in one and one and the same.
And she is a cleric of Mistra, goddess of magic.
What does she look like?
Yep.
Mia?
Sorry, what?
What does she look like?
She has light brown hair, blue eyes, big earrings, and she tends to have makeup that, well, you know what? Just copy image. She looks like this. Hi.
Okay, so she's because she's young.
Yeah, she's
Also,
young.
she's a dwarf.
She's a dwarf. Yeah.
Well, being a dwarf does not mean you're young.
No. Well, she's young for a dwarf.
Poor dwarf, yes.
I believe that she's around 67. which is young for a dwarf.
Yes.
Okay, next up, Mira.
Okay, so, alright, so, you really only know him as Tucker. He's a stout, squat lizard person. Every time you ask him, like, what exactly are you? He's like, I'm a dragonborn. I'm very short. Very short dragonborn. If you call him a kobold, it's like, no, you eat it. Dragonborn. I find that offensive. You offend me. Good sir. You feel bad. He's got silver scales. He's dressed in just vestments that look like cleric's vestments, but just kind of off. Like, they're either too big, too small, and just don't quite fit right. And when you ask, he claims to be a follower of Bahamut. And his leathery scales, they're very old and worn, and he just acts like a very old, crotchety man. A crotchety old man.
Okay. And next up, Umbra.
I'm playing CL. Humanoid in appearance. Average height about 5'11", fairly lean, scrawny, more on the side of scrawny build. Wearing a bit of baggy clothing, but enough movement. His clothing's more traveler's attire that look a mix of a bit more formal. Some mix that you try and guess is between what wizards would wear, but it has almost a clergy feel about it as well. It's some hybrid mix. It doesn't quite make sense. He has effectively short, bleach blonde hair, straight, swept to the side. Skin is rather pale, no matter how much outside he goes. But the most striking feature in his fairly still young adult appearance is his eyes, where whilst you can still see the edges of the irises themselves are white. He does not actually follow any specific deity in particular, but he has a high respect for divine nature, the different clergies, and does try and learn a bit about them. He's also wearing a pendant around his neck that is, I've forgotten which faction he's part of. He is part of one of the factions, but I will find it again.
Shoot me a message when you find it.
Yeah.
Because you may well know one of these NPCs. Okay. And next up, let's go with Nihon.
Okie doke. So, my character is a paladin by the name of Theris Ironheart. He is a 30-year-old human, stands about 5'6", 5'7"-ish, average build. Brown hair, brown eyes. Hair's kind of like a little bit unkept, I guess you'd say. His appearance, he seems to be fairly well kept with his beard and mustache, though, as if he's kind of always trying to keep up his appearance as much as he can. Partially because of his noble background. His father was a royal doctor, and his mother was a elven an ambassador, so he's a half elf as well. I should mention that. Trying to think what else. The deity that he follows is Torm, the god of courage and self-sacrifice. So he's got like his paladin vestments, and he's got a they're kind of a gray in color, but he's got a white right gauntlet emblazoned on the front of.
Okay. And last and clearly least.
Wow.
I think the kobold might be shorter than me.
I'm 2'1".
Yeah, you're definitely shorter.
Jesus.
So you're definitely shorter than me. Okay,
You sure
so
you don't start classing as tiny by that point and not small?
so second
Not quite.
to least.
Comic level.
Yeah. Second to least is Prudence Around Pebble. She is small, though not as small as the kobold.
Dragonborn.
Yeah, a very
much.
whatever. And it's a plump, older halfling woman. She with wild gray hair that looks like she maybe braided it about 5 years ago and never bothered to undo the braid or do anything about it. Ever since then, her hair sticks out in every direction and has like tiny twigs and leaves and things just stuck in it willy-nilly. She has one green eye and one wandering blue eye, which rolls around a little crazily in her head. She wears a pair of gold-rimmed spectacles that are bent, and one of the lenses is shattered, although she doesn't appear to have noticed it. And multiple layers of clothing of completely different colors and fabrics and styles with no thought whatsoever to either fashion or weather or anything that makes sense. The only normal things she wears are a pair of comfortable boots. She is a druid, and she has no time for fools, and tends to speak her mind and go off and has been off doing her own thing for the past 100 years or so. And
I'm so happy we have 2 miniature senior citizens.
We do. She's old and crotchety.
Yes.
I'm fine, Grandma.
Grandpa and Grandma's last hurrah.
Exactly.
Then, with the 2 figures approaching, we'll pick up now that you're all introduced.
I forgot where it was that we left off. I forgot the last line for a cue.
The Sun Elf said, beautiful ceremony. It's clear your friend meant a lot to you. And the other figure said, there's a chance that the deceased soul and countless others can be saved. We might even be able to bring them back to life. And you can save those still living with the curse if you act quickly. Yeah, for paraphrasing.
What would this entail? There's a lot that I imagine someone could be approached to and suggested, and none of them very savoury. What might you suggest?
Before I explain our plan, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ramalia Haventree. I represent the Harpers generally on the Council of Lords whenever it gets called. I represented them very recently during the issues with the Cult of the Dragon. I am leading a group of Harpers trying to uncover the cause of this so-called death curse. We believe it to be similar to the magic that a lich would use to feed its souls to its phylactery. We think that one would be able to trace the source, and conveniently enough, we have one nearby.
I just grimace a face at the name of the lich.
About 3 days' travel to the south. I'm assuming you know of the Cloakwood, and the fact that nobody sane ever enters it.
What? Nah, that place fine. Been there hundreds of times.
You're a fortunate one, youngling. For that is the domain of Zeldara Cordress, the Duchess of Rot.
Excuse you?
She's lived in that woods for centuries. She has a tower there, and the rest of the Sword Coast has an understanding.
Oh, okay.
As long as she's not bothered, she doesn't leave the forest. that armistice is about to be broken. With the death curse sweeping across Farron, we've decided that we have to storm her tower to see what she knows. We need the information if we're going to stop this and save the lives of, in theory, everyone.
You just called me youngling.
It's because you're short.
No, it's because
Shut
I'm
up,
at least 5 times older than you are.
Still sounds racist to
I'll
me.
tell you something. Damn elves.
Anyway,
Tall and everything.
her tower's close enough that it's an easy journey down the coast for you, and
Why
far enough
storm her-
away that we don't put any innocents in danger.
Why would you storm her tower when you could send a diplomatic envoy?
You think we haven't tried that?
Why
It
don't you
sounds
come to
like it.
us?
Because what we need while we storm the tower is a small force of adventurers to sneak into her cellar to look for her phylactery while we distract her and draw her away.
Wait, this is a lich?
You should not encounter her, and for your troubles with the cellar, we will pay each of you 500 gold and a potion of healing.
I mean,
I suppose the potion of healing is useful.
I roll and crack my neck. Suppose pointer's in the way of this phylactery then. Time to do some purging.
Lorena, Theris, do you have anything to say here?
Nope, I'm looking very resolute.
I simply nod and say, we must do what must be done to get rid of this, to purge the earth of this great evil. By earth,
Hi,
earth I
shiny,
mean
shiny,
ground.
shiny.
Yes.
Hi, paladins.
While the other figure is searching around in her robes for the potions, Romalia says, and for the benefit of all of you, I have a handout of Romalia. I almost forgot. With the help of some Harper wizards, including some particularly skilled seers, we've used the scrying spell to determine that Zoldara's phylactery is her spellbook, a tome bound in human skin, which she keeps locked up in a vault in her basement. Tomorrow morning, you'll leave Baldur's Gate aboard the Diviner, a keelboat bound for the Cloakwood. We'll sail out to the Sea of Swords and then south down the Sword Coast. It has a single Harper crew member, Corbrax, a halfling mage of some skill who can drive the vessel, which is stopped for food and water enough for the 3-day journey and journey back. On day 3 of the journey, you'll arrive at a seaside cave connected to a tower. When you hear my horn blow, it signals that our assault on the tower has begun. At that point, you need to move as quickly as possible to find that spellbook to minimize the number of casualties we're going to take. The sooner you find it, the sooner the violence can end. Once it's found, return to the Diviner. Corbrax will get you to me as soon as possible. You do have a chance tonight to rest up, grab any remaining supplies that you need, and Corbrax will meet you on the Diviner tomorrow. The other figure seems to have found the potions and gives you each a potion of healing.
So, just out of character, just as a confirmation, we'll search and retrieve or search and destroy?
Search and retrieve.
I don't think level 1 characters can destroy a phylactery.
It's also because having the phylactery gives them leverage over the lich because it's the threat of destroying it.
Yep.
If you destroy it, the lich has nothing else left to lose. If you capture it, the lich needs to get it back at all costs.
Because that's not going to go badly.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, they're
I'm off to
desperate.
back.
Alright, I'm good to go. Wait, my shinies!
shinies?
My
It's-
shinies in my
it's-
home.
Okay. Because the 500
Home in air
will be-
quotes.
the 500 is a reward for completing the contract successfully. The potions are up front.
Ah, yes, more shinies.
Are there any conversations, or are we just relaxing for the evening?
I imagine I'll head back to wherever my faction's based.
I'll go to my hole in the wall in the sewer, make sure that my bed of copper coins is properly hidden away.
Is anyone aside from me from like out of town? Or is everyone else based there?
I mean, I've been here for like 3 weeks.
Because my character lives in like a hole in a wall a hole in a rock face in the forest or something.
I think most of the others are at least city dwellers or
Okay.
beneath the city dwellers.
Because otherwise there might have been, a conversation around a table at the inn. But if everyone else already has their home, then
I'll invite people back for. Because it's not going to be for Order of the Gauntlets. They're not going to be like everyone who isn't an Order of the Gauntlets stay out, are they?
Nah.
Aw, but that's the most fun.
I mean, I'll probably stop by once my shinies are properly locked away.
I think I will join.
I would have specifically invited you as well, Terrace, considering your
Yes.
link with Tor.
I
But I
would-
would. I was going to say I would have opened the invitation to the others.
That sounds fair enough. I believe I will join though. Seems that we probably should at some point gather ourselves and figure out exactly how we are going to go about doing this.
Agreed. We should probably end up discussing what we can all do to aid the situation as well.
I hear those cats.
that's Ben. Ben thinks that I don't love him enough. I'm currently. Oh, I accidentally locked Ben in the office last night, and he destroyed the carpet trying to get out. I am so mad.
Aw.
I mean, it's not his fault. He does not know that I'm renting and that the carpet is going to cost a fortune to replace. And he was locked in a room. Gonna be. This is why I can't have nice things, Bun. This is why I can't have nice things. It's all your fault. Alright, I've got him. He is going to stop yowling as long as I'm holding him. It's going to make rolling dice tricky, but what can you do?
Get the cat to roll dice for you. Just put it on there and point it. Go, hit it.
Yeah. My friend had a polydactyl cat that would roll our dice. She would pick up the dice and throw them. We were trying to train her to pick up the correct dice, but it never worked out. She's like, fuck you, I roll the dice I want. Alright, well, fair enough, you are a cat. But yeah, if we didn't watch her, she would pick up the cat and run away with it on pick up the die and run away with it on 3 legs. And then we'd have to chase her. She also used to steal our pencil.
Right, so
Yes.
once those of you that live out of town or under the town have got your affairs in order, and the rest of you have done what you need to, you make your way as directed by CL to a inn called the Dancing Cat, which is located in a noble ward surrounded by hidden alleys and sprawling manors. The street outside is strewn with green flower petals.
On purpose or just from trees above?
Mix of both.
Okay.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why flower petals? Why
I
not
believe-
shiny?
I believe it's to make the scenery more appealing, attract guests and patrons.
Yeah, but
Mommy. Don't
This
need to
is-
rip off. They don't need to
this-
rip off the flowers just to make it appealing. The flowers are fine where they were.
Don't need to waste perfectly good flowers on this. And he picks up a
just-
flower petal.
I
And eats
just
it.
walk towards the inn and open the door.
Yeah, this is an adventurer's inn in a noble ward. Okay. The interior
I
of the inn
just
is
push open the door anyway.
The interior of the inn is a single-story stone wall building with several stained glass windows and a tiled mosaic floor. Behind the bar is a thin male elf who looks up, nods, seems to recognise probably at least two of you, and just kind of gestures to a free table. While going back to pouring drinks for a couple of people sat at the bar.
I give a nod and head over.
I poke at the floor with my wooden staff.
Stone.
Fancy.
So you all
Yeah.
knew Sam then?
Yeah. Dumb kid.
But nice.
Ambitious,
Nice.
adventurous, but I don't think dumb.
Clever enough. Depends on your definition of dumb.
You're right. Yeah. He
How
was
many
able to
times?
speak.
How many times did he die?
I met him after he died once.
So did I.
Really? How'd he die with you?
Oh, there was owlbears.
Ah,
It was a long time ago. He was very young.
too true. Poked his head into a dragon's there. Like, seriously, man. What the heck?
I get a feeling they must have wisened up since meeting me then. This doesn't sound like the same person.
Hope so.
Maybe.
Not particularly. I've always known them to be a very wise and noble person.
And
Oh,
now-
no. Noble, sure, they were noble.
Them nobles.
But also no common sense for a while. Good handwriting.
Yes, at least that was always the nice thing about them, was that whenever they would pass me along any research that they had done, it would always be very, very easy to read.
Very legible.
Really?
Good,
When I
good
met them,
penmanship.
handwriting was shit.
Certainly, they were not a doctor like my father was. As I laugh heartily.
No. Of course he wasn't. Of course they weren't a doctor. Are you not paying attention?
It was but humor.
Right. Humor.
I've just posted in chat the menu, which you can now find on the table for those of you who would be ordering. The baked dragon is not actually dragon meat. It's just probably something like chicken posed to look like a dragon.
Good.
Well, Prudence is not one to say no to food.
This is an adventurer's tavern, so the prices are slightly higher than they would be at a commoner's tavern, but the fare is high quality as well.
I'll, with the older ones bickering and chatting.
Yeah. You can assume that everything that Prudence says from now on is going to be with her mouth full.
I raise my eyebrows and look at Ciel and go, dragon?
It is not actually dragon. It's just like the petals outside. They do it to bring in more patrons.
Dragon! What?
I'll have the hair and ale.
You say that, and you can see the elf behind the counter just gives a small nod and starts making arcane gestures, seems to be pulling all the ingredients together.
Can I
And
get my usual of the baked dragon with the hazelnut bread and make the whiskey strong, would you? It's been a rough one.
He nods. You can see more ingredients being pulled together, and it looks like a slot for payment has opened up on the table.
Stick one golden.
Oh, you're paying? Thank you.
It closes in it, and he starts floating the food that's already been ordered over to you.
Free food. Great.
I'll get this one. It's fine. Call it a
Depending
gesture
on
of
the
good
order, you
faith.
might need a second gold piece, but yeah.
Depends on what
Depending-
everyone else has ordered.
Yeah. If you all
Tucker
order
just
something
starts downing his whiskey.
I will order the. Let's see here. The poached duck with cinnamon and cherry pie and a glass of port. Sounds quite peculiar, but delicious.
And again, you can see him just making gestures, pulling the ingredients together. Seems to be using, small bits of magic to cook it to just the right temperature and all of that. And eventually, your food and drinks comes floating over. CL, you would know that the innkeeper's name is Unon.
Unon.
Unon. UNON.
Oh, look at that! Got it in one as well.
Prefers to do everything.
Lorena kind of coughs something that sounds strangely like off.
You get like a cackle from the outside of the table at that.
He is mute and prefers to do everything with magic because it's easier and faster and generally done better than by hand.
Lorena doesn't know that.
But once the comments come, I CL describe.
Huh.
Lazy bastard.
I believe it's
He
quite more of
starts
a
chugging
talent,
whiskey.
actually. Why not if you have access to such magic's and ability?
He does it because it makes it better and more consistent.
Squanderance of youth. When I was my age, we made our mistakes. We stuck to them.
You're pretty sure
We burnt
that
our food when we burnt our food.
you're pretty sure that some of your food just got burned.
I don't mean Tucker doesn't care.
A Dragonborn might prefer it that way, honestly.
You would think that they would quite enjoy a nice broil, no?
So, with formalities out of the way and as reminiscing, a toast to our good friend.
To some. Oh, for fuck's sake, not again.
For the knowledge that they shared, and may they rest. I'm not very good at the toasting thing as a paladin here, and may they finally seek the peace that perhaps they sought in the end. Maybe not through knowledge, but peace nonetheless.
To the kid. May he stick his nose in the business of all the gods.
I just raised my ale and didn't drink it.
And refills come
Yes.
floating over.
Yep. Prudence
Well,
also
that's-
doesn't have a speech, so just to Sam, and will down her ale.
Hopefully we can get rid of this whole problem that's affecting everyone and maybe bring Sam back again.
Won't be the first time.
And I sure as all the nine hells hope it won't be the last either.
They're
So-
definitely going to owe us a big favor after this.
Yeah.
Maybe to you guys. I'm just fulfilling a debt. That's all.
About now, you see the tavern door open, and Dramalia and the other figure also come in, and they pick their own table fairly nearby, but not right next to yours.
Give it a nod.
They both politely nod and seem to be deep in conversation with each other.
Can I hear what they're saying?
Make a perception check.
Right. Perception, +3. I'm not proficient in that. 13.
It's a little hard to hear. I mean, there's a bit of conversation going on in the tavern anyway. You think you can hear them talking about some seer being blind and not being able to get any more information. Like, as if
Blind
they've been
seer.
deliberately blinded.
You're not listening, though. Yeah, it's.
Oh, no, I'm not.
So I don't mean to rush our whole formalities, and I'm hoping it's going to be good enough for dinner time conversation, but should we talk about business?
Is there anything we can plan before we get there?
If we know what each other can do, that's a good start. I can start with myself if people aren't wanting to go, but I'd like to know what my peers and comrades would be capable of if I'm going to stick my neck out for them. Is everyone game for this idea?
Lorna just shrugs.
I have no qualm with this.
Eh.
We're a very non-committal group.
I'll take that as a unanimous okay.
That's a
I
unanimous
think that's as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Especially from the two old folks.
I guess I'll
The
break the
grumpy
ice
one.
on this. I guess I'll break the ice on this one. My style is far more aggressive. I can pack a punch using different magics, both arcane and divine alike. That's why the divines don't like me very much. They say I warp their magic, but what can you do when you've been given a gift? I can clarify more if you'd like, but I think you get the gist. That, I believe as the term goes, I'm a blaster.
Ah.
I turn to Theris.
I prefer a more clinical approach, perhaps, than you. I do tend to take a little bit more of a defensive stance, but at the same time, I'm not quite cowardly enough to avoid combat at all times. I just simply like to be more, how shall we put it, calculating in my decision.
Alright. Turn to
Can anybody
Lorena.
else understand that?
He's more
He
tactful.
goes, hits things.
Huh.
I hit things, but I hit them smart, I guess you could say. If I have to lower the complexity of my language.
Ah. What you want? Damn cat.
I turn and look at Lorena.
The cats are gathering.
I mean, I can do your standard healing spells, blessings. Depends on what I prepare that day. Usual cleric stuffs and a bit of arcane magic because, well, Mistral is generous enough to share that knowledge with us.
Interesting a divine would bestow such a thing. That's very intriguing.
She is the goddess of magic.
About now, you see another group of 3 figures enter the tavern and head over to the table where Ramara and the other woman are sat, and they join them. Seem to be a gnome with dark hair. Seems to almost be shifting as she moves through the tavern. You've got a much taller, more ethereal-looking woman. Her eyes seem to almost stare straight into your soul, a pure white, and then a hulking, armoured figure whose race you can't divine at all. That seems to be wielding a flail. And they sit and seem to join the conversation with Ramala and the other woman.
Can we determine what race the first person is?
The short one. Deep
Yeah.
gnome.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Not even paying attention to all this, Tucker starts speaking. I have been blessed by Bahamut. Shinies be unto him. And, yes. He blesses me with great power.
What would you be capable of doing with that power is more into what I'd prefer to know.
He grants me power much more quickly than most gods. I can keep going all day with little rest in between.
Are you more of a spellcasting nature like myself, or more
Yes.
of an aggressive hitter? Okay.
Spells. But I can do shooty and healy. Good touch, bad touch.
I'm sort of giving a okay. Look.
Bahamut, shinies be unto him.
You probably don't want me to handle the heavy lifting or of any kind. Just fair warning. Strength is not my forte.
I don't
I'm
think
an
it's-
old man.
Is
It's
it literally
implied.
only? Is it literally only Theris has any form of strength score?
Yep.
I don't know, does 8 sound like a form of strength score?
Yeah.
Oh, you too?
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
Oh, but I'm pretty sure I also have the lowest intelligence with an 8.
I think you have 4 people with 8 strength, and then there's Darius.
I have 10.
Oh.
My 8, Prudence's 8 is in charisma.
Holy shit!
Oh,
Prudence
no,
has the
wait.
second highest strength.
Yes, true. My 8 is in charisma. It's not in strength. I have
Okay.
a 10 in strength.
Ooh.
So there's
Two
two of us
eights,
who've
two
got like a
tens, and
0
a-
modifier.
16.
Hey, see, we find.
You hear a loud thunk from the table over by Romalia. It looks like the armored figure has just slammed their flail down onto the table in frustration.
Can I try and listen in again?
Make
Can
me
I try
a perception check.
insight?
What are you inciting for?
Why is basically the general tension?
Better.
Is this gonna go awry?
You can certainly try.
Keep it down. People are trying to enjoy their meal.
20 perception.
Okay.
Total, not natural.
Okay. It seems like the armored figure is frustrated because there's no information of where to go or what to kill to stop this curse, and seems to want to get into action, not be sat being useless. The conversation seems to be talking about once the information's found, the woman, who it seems her name is Syndra, will teleport the group to wherever it is so they can jump in and try and strike at the source of this curse once they can figure out where it is.
Do I recognize the armored figure as an Order of the Gauntlet member with just how it's behaving?
Was Kaibar Order of the Gauntlet?
No.
Oh,
Then
No, he was not.
No, you do
did
not.
you not clock on that?
I thought as much, but I was wondering.
Hulking, armored, with a flail.
Yeah.
And there's a deep gnome in the mix.
I forgot that there was a deep gnome. No.
With a third woman with divine eyes.
Okay, hear me out on this. What if this is all being caused by some leech fucker across the sea on some jungle continent?
Don't be ridiculous.
That is a stupid idea. Why would they be in a jungle of all places?
Who wants to go to a jungle? See? Perfect place to hide. That's
I
the
don't-
Underdark, but what did it do?
I don't think we discovered what you can do, Prudence.
Oh, I'm just an old woman who lives in the forest. But sometimes nature lets me.
Oh, f- I will kill my internet. I would if it wasn't already dead.
I see. Oh.
I keep lagging out.
Ugh.
Well, I guess it's time to kill your recording.
I don't know if it's the recording or if it's just my internet.
You
Ooh,
do sound
internet.
fine on Discord, so
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but suddenly I can't hear anything on Discord until I wait like 20-30 seconds and then it catches up. It's annoying.
Do you want to try stopping your recording and seeing if that helps?
I got you.
Sure.
I know
I
it
was-
pains you to not record things, but
It
needs
does.
must.
Yeah.
I was having the problem with Discord the other day where I had to completely kill and reopen Discord because it was freezing for like 10 seconds at a time,
Huh. You know what? I'll try that.
which will
Okay.
mean you get disconnected from the channel. But
It's alright. We'll reconnect after.
Alright. I'll be back in a sec. Chill. Chill, Discord.
I'm not going to ask if, like, the armor happens to be burnt black with a dragon's full helm.
yes, it does.
What did I miss?
You just confirming it was Kaibar.
Yeah. I would have thought the flail gave it away.
It was a major part, but...
Okay.
Well, is there anything else we should let each other know and discuss? Should we retire and prepare for the night?
We should retire and prepare for the night, perhaps. I have a feeling we're not the only ones that may be undertaking this quest.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
like
are
they told
going-
us they were going
yeah.
to attack the leech when we go downstairs.
I just pointed.
Weren't you paying attention?
You keep making her sound
Yes.
like she's some sort of blood-sucking invertebrate.
Aren't that what all vampires are?
It's not a vampire, it's a lich.
Oh, right.
It seems
Pay
like
attention!
Seems like the other group of adventurers are heading out with less than pleased looks shared between each other, and the cloaked figure is making her way over to your table.
Anyone else getting a bad feeling about this? I got a bad feeling.
I always have bad feelings.
Very much so. I fear we may see them again, but perhaps not in better terms.
When they said
Probably
they
in
were
a
going to
body
storm, when they said they were going to storm the castle, I assumed they meant storm with an army.
Oh,
I thought they were going to storm with lightning and thunder.
oh
and
I
rain.
can kind of do that, but not very much.
fear not. Those adventurers we were just talking to are not part of the assault tomorrow.
That's probably a good thing.
See how your Order of the Gauntlet, yes?
I am indeed.
I believe the Gauntlet has ties to the Flaming Fist. Would you mind passing this letter over their way? It needs to go to Katamar, who owes me a favour.
Very well, I'll get to it before I depart back to my base of operations.
Thank you. Since I believe I forgot to introduce myself earlier, I am Sindra Sylvain.
Speak up!
Is it not picking up my mic? Or is
No,
it-
that was
it's
in
fine.
character.
It's in character.
When I do the low voices, my mic can have issues with it, so I have to check.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no, that's
we're-
fine.
we're-
It was just that was in character. Speak up!
If your voice box is being attacked by the curse, you wouldn't be speaking up either.
Ow!
If you survive the infiltration, then you are welcome to claim an additional magical reward from where I live, and depending what we find out, I will extend the offer of a teleportation 5 or 6 days hence to wherever it is to get you started on the investigation. We need to know what we find out first before I can confirm that.
We'll get it done.
Appreciate it. This curse is causing more than a few problems. That group I'm sure you saw, have been investigating on my orders a few different occurrences that all have similar links with the death curse. It matters not. I'll tell you after your infiltration, if it matters. Good luck. I'll see you at the tower. And she turns, Amalia stands with her and seems to let Sindra lean on her shoulder, and they both head out.
Well, I have a duty to take to. Should we reconvene here in the morning?
At dawn?
Yes, at dawn would be fine.
Well, you've been told where to meet in the morning.
Then,
Hey, Don!
At the docks on the Diviner.
Why not,
of
like,
course, yes.
half hour after dawn? Why does it always have to be at dawn? Some of us want to sleep.
Because
Don't
you've
be
been told
lazy.
to meet at first light.
Don't be lazy.
I'll finish packing my stuff then.
We
See
have
you
to
tomorrow.
depend on the tide. If the tide is at first light, the tide is at first light. Don't you pay attention?
I know, but why couldn't it have been...
Because the tide. You can't argue with nature.
Says you.
Yes, but I'm the expert.
I neck back whatever's left of my whiskey and take my leave.
At this point, like, Tucker is on his, like, third glass of whiskey.
So given that he's 2 feet tall, he can barely stand now, right?
Oh no, he's perfectly fine.
Got a high constitution?
14.
Oh, okay. So same. God, do we have practically the same scores?
Yeah, because I've also got 14.
I just got a 15 charisma.
Oh,
And
you're
You're
the-
one
next.
characters, kids.
Alright, you
Like,
put
you've
it
all
into
gone
charisma.
divine.
Okay.
You've all gone divine, so all of your wisdom.
yeah, considering I don't get that bonus to do charisma.
I don't know, we got 2 people in charisma rather than wisdom, and then a bunch of other people in wisdom. And I don't think we've got anyone in intelligence. Don't know.
I have an 8 intelligence.
I have
I have
12.
10.
So you're an
I have
unintelligent,
13.
not strong party
Okay. We've
I
got,
wouldn't say unintelligent. 12 is slightly above average.
without access to thieves' tools.
Well, I mean, we are all making a divine party. How many of us were gonna,
There isn't a divine rogue archetype yet.
I mean, you can
Plus
still be a criminal.
rogue archetypes are only level 3 anyway, so...
Also,
exactly.
I'd like to point out I do have thieves' tools,
You just don't know how to use
and I
it.
just rolled a nat 1 for it.
That's fire.
That's fireball.
I like how people are like, that's
I
thieves' tools.
started
That's
it.
fire.
That's
I
a
was
hell of
like,
a
oh.
That's a hell of a thief tool, dude. I
As
picked the
said-
lock with my firebolt.
I
as
mean,
said to the
I have
Daphne
that
the other
too.
day.
Oh my god, our rolls today.
As
There's
I
a
said to
reason
the
I
Daphne the other day, what happens if the door is not made of wood?
Eldritch Blast, because that's a force effect.
What happens is Theris is what happens.
I Ray Frost the lock and then kick it open. People have done that. I've seen it in movies where they get like real cold. I can't remember what it is. It's not compressed air, but
Liquid nitrogen?
thank you, that one. They put it over a lock and then just smash the lock in. Makes it brutal. Anyway, I'm going to go to the Flaming Fist, drop off the ladder, small talk, and then head back. Keeping it quite short.
Hopefully
and-
not tying all of my TOA games together right now.
Nah.
Maybe
I'm
one of
going
them will
back to my
succeed.
temple.
Maybe the Thursday group will avoid being TPK'd.
That's a big maybe, good sir.
Mm-hmm.
For everyone's clarification, I'm on my 4th character.
They know.
I get regular updates from Ballor. Killed another PC tonight. Yeah, like,
Yeah, I get those every once in a
Kill
while
my
too.
pseudo dragon.
I know.
I got that alert as well.
Does this make me the least bloodthirsty GM here?
Because
I've only-
Yes.
I have never played. I have never killed a PC.
I've killed an animal companion,
I haven't.
and they still got to live because of action
You were-
points.
Oh, okay.
I haven't killed anyone yet.
No, I don't want them to die.
I've killed 14
not-
characters
I'm
in
not
Team
planning-
Annihilation alone across
I'm
my
not
2 games.
planning for people to die, but eventually the stakes are going to get high.
Oh yeah, especially
It's
with Pathfinder,
inevitable.
someone's going to die.
I have 2
Rocket
TOA games. Between just those 2, completely ignoring my Strahd game, I've killed 14 characters.
Jesus fuck.
I mean, you're also running Tomb of Annihilation, which is like Deathy McDeatherson.
That is meat grinder AP.
Until you hear how many times he's killed people in Curse of Strahd.
But at least we come back in that one.
So far.
So far.
There's a chance to come back at the very least, which is always nice.
Yep,
Hey,
'cause I use
right
Mercy's
now-
resurrection rules.
Right now, I am sure that I'm going to come back to life.
Yep. Just not as yourself. Okay, so is everyone retiring for the night?
Yes.
Yes, on my bed of copper pieces.
Okay,
As
then,
I
with
pack, I look at my mace and I go, might as well take that. Not gonna use it, but gonna take it.
everyone retiring for the night and heading down to the Diviner the next dawn to start your 3-day journey down the coast to Zeldara Cordress's lair. I'm going to call a quick 5-10 minute break here for those who need it, because I need to go refill my drink.
Okay.
Selfish reason for a break.
Totally! Also because you're about to start the dungeon crawl.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll go make a sandwich.
Wait, is Manon not there with you?
I'll take the 5 or 10 minutes real quick. I have to do some stuff.
Ooh, that's loud.
Okay, yeah,
Ballor,
I'll be
I
like
heard
5
that,
minutes if
and
that.
that. Careful.
I know. Umbra missed it.
What was that?
Nothing.
It's
I was
joking.
unplugging my
myself a drink.
headphones. I didn't hear shit.
It's
It was
okay.
a stupid joke.
I'll be right back.
Oh, that's being shut. Cut that. I go into my kitchen and the window's open, and I'm just hearing the ruckus that is the church bells going.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Ugh. Were we the only two here?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm not actually ready yet, but I suppose I can still go and still cook because, everything's within my reach in this place.
That sounds practical, if a little cramped.
Practical, I guess, but having space for certain things, I think, is more ideal.
Yeah. I will say that the one thing I miss about my old place is that I had the computer set up right near the kitchen, so I could just the wire on my headset is long enough that I could just like get up and go make myself a cup of tea and never interrupt my D&D games. It was great. Whereas now the kitchen's downstairs, and so I have to like interrupt everything. Like, I have to go make a cup of tea. I'll be right back. So I drink a lot less tea now.
Thoughts so far?
Hold on. Oh, there's my toast.
I'm curious. Thoughts so far on the adventure? Daphne?
Sorry, what? I missed that.
Thoughts so far on the one-shot?
So far so good. I'm really enjoying the two crotchety old people. I think that's my favorite so far. Is them. I have a feeling that we're just gonna bicker our way through this dungeon.
What could possibly go wrong? I debated playing Zildara off as just, another necromancer, and then went, nah, it's better to just tell you up front she's a lich.
Yeah, well, otherwise we probably would have spent a lot of time like wandering in circles, not knowing what we were looking for. I mean, I still spend a lot of time wandering in circles, but at least we'll know we're wandering in circles.
Yeah, the dungeon's fairly well designed to not let you walk in circles.
Yeah, those are the kinds of dungeons like, let's not have one where they wander around in circles.
That's what the actual TOA dungeons are for.
I'm
Okay,
back.
welcome back. Okay, having to collect a number of skeleton keys, you don't know where they are. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, but
put one in with a beholder.
yeah, there's one that's kind of go around in circles. That's at the end of Karen Crown. But I'm redoing the way that whole way is going to work. It's definitely going to be more like a giant siege on the place, with all their allies coming like to help them out.
They're going to have allies at that point. They won't have killed everyone in sight.
They've already got a few allies. They just need to fuck up the other ones they're about to get.
Wow,
It'd just be
your
this
group is doing
massive
better than mine
siege
now.
scene. Yeah, I've just got characters, main character backstory that's been the real issue. Because I've been just ignoring one of them. Like, I just haven't really had anything. But now that I'm at the point where I had at least something planned, I've just got to push it. And I'm just now planting the seeds of Celine's backstory in Carrying Crown, and that's been fun to work with.
Push it like the idea that Strix and Diath are married.
Chris Perkins is so mean.
I love that happened. I have no context because I'm so far behind. And I haven't watched any in like years.
Yeah, when the death curse starts, basically they have Van Richten came back and was like, I have a way of protecting you against the death curse. It's a Vistani ceremony, blah blah blah. And it did involve rings.
Oh yeah, I saw the whole thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's like,
And the Maid of
that is
Honor dying.
beautiful.
And yeah, and the Maid of Honor Oh no, died. Indeed. Sort of.
I'm about to be done,
Because-
so if you want to start kicking this thing off, by the way.
Because
think we're
Chris
still missing
Perkins
Neil.
cannot kill his PCs.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case,
Which is odd for Chris Perkins,
Yeah.
the guy who
He
is
just-
happily tearing up character sheets for the
Yo.
meat Chapter during Stream of Annihilation.
I mean, he's killed them. He just doesn't let
them
them
back.
be dead. Yeah.
okay, then if we have everybody, you
I think
guess,
so.
then you head on down to the diviner in the morning after you found out all of this horrific information on what's going on in the world. And you head down, and the mage Corbrax, a halfling, introduces himself, welcomes you aboard, and as soon as you're all on and settled, he pushes the boat out and, using magic and his own skill, starts guiding you 3 days south down the coast. So I'm sorry, did someone say ripping up character sheets? Didn't come across on the mic properly.
Oh no, it
Oh,
came
it
across just fine.
It did.
Dead.
So, are there any conversations during the journey, or are we time skipping 3 days ahead?
I mean,
Sorry, I'm eating.
probably the first night they notice that Tucker's not in the hammock, bunk, whatever. And if you search for him, you find that he's in the cargo hold, curled up on a pile of copper coins.
Okay. He just brought his pile of copper coins with him.
You wouldn't?
Is he strong enough to haul that many copper coins around?
I have my ways.
One of Bahamut's gift. It makes your mouth a bag of holding.
Ah, yes, Bahamut. Air quotes.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm sure that's accurate.
Totally.
How big is the boat?
The diviner is not a small boat. I think it's about 100 foot long by 20-30 feet wide.
I'll be doing, if possible, then setting up targets and doing some target practice.
Fair.
Making sure that I will probably not be using Firebolt as we're on a... It's a wooden ship, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be using Firebolt. That would be a bad
Not-
idea.
Definitely don't
it's a
practice your
keel boat.
lockpicking skills.
Let me look at the size of a keel boat.
I'm mostly gonna spend my time like reading my prayer book, poking my
Okay.
nose around, lurking.
Yep. It's 80 feet long, 15 feet wide.
Yeah, so I have small little bits. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to get away with using the full length of the boat. Otherwise, people are going to be like walking out like, "Hey, what's going?" Maybe I'll go the other way.
What
Shoot
other
stray
way?
seagulls.
Okay. Time passes, and it's an uneventful journey. And it's now the evening of the third day of your boat ride, but the winds seem to blow a little colder. The evergreen treetops of the Cloakwood rustle endlessly. Corvrat steers the boat alongside rocky shores. "See that?" he says to you, pointing to a monolithic black tower appearing just above the dark forest. "Zordara," the maid says ominously. "We're close." Minutes later, the wind howls a lonely note as Corbrax brings the diviner as close as he can to the shore. A small cliff 10 feet high rises up from the rocks. Atop the cliff, you see dense trees and Zoldara's lair poking above. The mage hops into the knee-deep water, motioning you for you to grab your equipment and follow. The ocean is as cold as death. Corbrax walks onto the shore and touches the cliff wall, muttering an arcane incantation. As he does so, the wall parts just a bit, revealing a stone stair going upwards into darkness.
I hop off the boat and start
As do I.
hiking.
You created this, or you just knew of its existence?
We discovered its existence a short while ago. Part of our scrying to find a phylactery.
Good work.
Scrying. Back in my day, hey, we poked our noses in places to find out what was in there.
I think that's what we're here for.
Oh,
Thinking of that, be quick. The longer you take, the more harpers above in the battle will die, and you'll face a terrible danger.
Have we heard the signal go off?
You have not yet.
We
damn
can
youths.
make our
Punning
way
their
there,
work on the
but
elderly.
Yeah, you've got to make your way from the diviner to
The tower?
uh,
Ish.
to a ledge beneath the tower on the cliffside.
Whilst we're heading up, in hushed and muffled voices,